Hey folks, Mark here at RC Crawling and Aviation Adventures. Thanks for tuning into the channel for this video. Well, this is the second video about my scratch build project that began as a, I think it was a 630mm wingspan micro J3 Cub scratch build project. It started off as that, and now it's turned into a 1300mm wingspan carbon cub scratch build project, all balsa. So what we're looking at now here is we're looking at my actual 1300mm wingspan Hobby Zone Carbon Cub S2, which I'm using as my model, pun intended, to do my scratch build. I'm doing my. I like the 1300mm size of an airplane very much. It fits in the car well, fully assembled. It's just great for a lot of reasons. It works really well for me for a lot of reasons. A lot of them for mostly practical reasons. Storage, transport, you know, what am I trying to say? They're small enough that they don't kind of freak people out with their size or whatever, if people happen to be around. Anyhow, so yeah, so I love this Cub here, the S2, and I've done a bunch of videos about doing some scale upgrades, including the clear windows that you can see right now. So my next thing is I wanted to do a scratch build. So I decided to do a scratch build of this airplane because this is my favorite airplane, the Carbon Cub Super Sport. It's my favorite, and I love the gold and silver color scheme like this plane has. So I decided to try and duplicate this airplane as closely as possible, but in balsa, scratch build in the red and silver trim scheme. So what I've done here is I've got my first template made, and this template will, the template that we're looking right now, I've got it installed temporarily on the right or starboard side of the airplane, to show how perfectly it fits, virtually perfectly, and anything that's not quite perfect. I'm making everything a little bit bigger. This pattern I'm making just slightly bigger, because if anything's a little bit too big of these balsa components that I'm making, I can sand them down to size. But if anything's too small, if this fuselage, right-hand side fuselage balsa piece, if it's too small in any way, I can't make it bigger, all right? Once I've made it, I have to start all over again. But if it's a little oversized, I can easily trim it down, sanding it down, or whatever the case may be. So what we've got here is, there we go, that's about right there. Now this pattern's not going to be, this isn't fitting quite up against the airplane like it could be, see what I mean? And it needs to go up a little bit like that, but it's pretty dang close. So anyway, so where was I at? Yeah, so this is the template that I made for the right-hand side of the aircraft. I'll lay this template down on a piece of, actually two pieces together, of very thin, flat balsa wood, sheeting, if you will. I'll lay this down on a big piece of balsa, flat and thin, that I've made, and I'll use this pattern to trace exactly what I've got here, including the window cutouts. And I'll show you here. Here we go. Pull this out. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and lay this down, and I've got part of this folded in the back because it wouldn't fit. It was too long to fit under the horizontal stabilizer, so I just folded it back, but it's actually longer. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to take this completely unfolded. I'm going to have two flat pieces of balsa that are very thin, laid out and butted together edge to edge, and then reinforced with a beam of balsa wood where they meet, right? So I'll join two pieces together edge to edge of flat balsa sheeting to make a wide enough, big enough, what am I trying to say? To make a piece that's big enough for this fuselage pattern that I got going on here. And here, let me stand this up. And then also, by the way, here's the cowling. The cowling I'm going to do is a separate assembly. Cowling goes up there, and I haven't included the, I have not included the intake or exhaust housings on my pattern. Those will be built separately and added to the finished fuselage, right? All right, so let's see, what was I going to say? Yeah, so my next step is to, like I said, I'm going to make a sheet of very thin balsa, flat, big enough to be able to trace this whole thing onto that balsa. It'll be two pieces laminated together, but you know, edge to edge, and reinforced to make one big piece. So I can make one piece, so I can lay this down on that balsa trace all the way around the outside of the pattern, trace all the windows. See, I'll trace around the exterior of the pattern, you know, all the way down, trace all the way around onto the balsa like that. And then I'll trace the windows, each one. Yep, trace each one. And then what I'll have is I'll have this same pattern on balsa, and I'll just go ahead and let's say this cardboard is the balsa. Once I've transferred an outline of this onto balsa, which will be the material for the fuselage sides and top and bottom, and once I've cut out the windows like I've done in the cardboard here onto the balsa, once I've drawn this all on the balsa, well, then I can have something that will look exactly like this, including the windows being cut out, but it'll be on balsa instead of cardboard then. And this will be my first ready-to-use piece. The flat balsa that's been laminated together in the middle to make it wide enough. Cutting out the windows so that they'll be ready to receive the plastic window glass when the time comes, right? And the windshield's going to go here. It's going to angle up from here to here. Again, the cowling will go there. So I take this one here, I lay it down on balsa, I trace it, the outline, cut it out of the balsa, and then I trace the outline of the windows onto that balsa and cut the windows out. And then I've got what looks like this in balsa. Then I simply take this same pattern that I've already used and I flip it around the other way like this. I flip this pattern around the other way like this. And yes, I'm in my car, flying. I flip it around like that with this tail end unfolded, and then I've got my pattern for the for the port side, the left side of the airplane. That's for the right side, and when I flip it around, it becomes an identical pattern for the opposite side. So then I will have two of these. I'll have one facing that way, and I'll have one facing that way. And when I put them together, that'll create both the sides of the airplane. And then I'm going to make and put the top on the top and the bottom on the bottom. Of course, the wing will go up there. So there you go. That's what we're doing. Making our template. We've made our template, actually. This cardboard template is finished for the right and left sides of the fuselage. I only have now to trace the pattern onto balsa and cut it out. So they'll have two identical pieces that look just like what I've got in cardboard, but they'll be in balsa and ready to start building with. Yep. Add the top and the bottom to the fuse, to the right and left sides. Then my basic fuse assembly will be finished. I will delay gluing the top of the fuse on though, because I'm going to go in there and build my airframe. The frame itself that'll be inside the skin. The skin will be thin, flat balsa, like I said, and then inside of that will be the airframe, which will be an actual frame of balsa. So I'll go inside and build my interior airframe inside the skin of the aircraft and the fuse, and so on and so forth. We'll go from there. I'll build the place where I'm going to put the receiver and the servos, and I'll get everything going on with the fuselage, and then we'll go from there. Now another nice thing is that, as you know, lost my there we go. As you know. Now on the Cub here, this is all flat. See that? That's just all flat, and that's not how it is. There's curves. But the nice thing is that I can actually use this. One reason I'm using cardboard is I can actually recreate that curvage. All right, now this is really a poor, you can't really. This is a very poor demo, but you see what I mean? I can actually shape. See, because up there center screen, the right dead center screen, the right edge of this template. Represents right here. The pattern goes up to right there and stops before the cowling. Right now, if you look at it, it's curved. See, it's curved. It's not flat like my cardboard. But when I bend it, and when I shape it like this, well, then it will be curved, and I'll show you what I mean. And by the way, I'm making up my methods as I go along. I'm a total rookie at scratch building. Anyway, so you can see this is how the pattern goes right here, and it fits very well, fits right where it should, but it's flat. So when I come up in here, and when I'm doing my actual building, I'll be curving the pattern and later the balsa like this. You see, that's inexact, but you see what I mean. See? When I finish There we go. When I finish my pattern and my finished fuselage will have the curvature that it needs. See? Yep. Okay, I think you get the idea on that. Okay then, folks. Thanks for watching this project unfolding. It's I'm having a blast. I'm having a blast with it. All right, so that's it. That's it. Anything else to say right now? The next thing I will show you is having traced onto the balsa the pattern for the right and left side of the fuse. I will show the results of that. I'll show the right and let me start over. In the next video, I'm going to show the right and left hand sides of the fuselage finished in balsa. They will have been traced onto balsa, they will have been cut out, and they will have been sanded so that the right and left sides of the balsa will be finished. The windows will be cut out. They'll be finished in terms of being ready to go on from there. Yep, that'll be the next one. You'll see what the finished right and the finished left side look like. And I'll probably even paint them with the yellow on the top, with the red on the top and silver on the bottom. So that's the next video. This cardboard pattern will go from the one cardboard pattern to two finished fuselage pieces for the side. And I think I'll have them painted. And at that time, I will also have the top and bottom of the fuselage pieces done in balsa. So in the next video, basically, I will have both sides, top and bottom of the fuse, built and painted, and the windows cut out but not installed, and nothing else done. Then we'll go from there. All right, thanks for watching. I appreciate every single view. I appreciate every single viewer, every subscriber. I appreciate all your content and your channels that I get to enjoy very, very much when I'm not flying, even if I am flying. Thanks. See you soon. Bye. Mark here, signing off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.